Greetings, everybody. Welcome to Justice and Jubilee and this week's message and music. I'm Reverend Brad Davis, one of the co-chairs of Justice and Jubilee, and it is my pleasure to be with you today as part of this movement for liberation that is birthed here in West Virginia and is rooted, is grounded in this place that we all love, that we call home. A movement that is working towards making this place that we love a home for all people. So welcome. So glad that you could join us today. If you recall, if you were with us last week, Carrie reframed the Epiphany story for us as an invitation into the Christ story. Well, today, we're going to reframe the story of Jesus' baptism as an invitation into God's story of redemption, a story that is for all of us. So, welcome to this day where we come to the waters of baptism, the waters of God's justice that roll down like a river, God's righteousness like an everlasting mountain stream. Welcome to the waters. You are invited to them today. I want to share with you the story of Jesus' baptism as it is given to us in Matthew's Gospel. This is Matthew chapter 3, verses 13 through 17. Hear the good news of God for all of God's children. Then Jesus came from Galilee to John at the Jordan to be baptized by him. John would have prevented him, saying, "I need to be baptized by you, and do you come to me?" But Jesus answered him, "Let it be so now. For it is proper for us in this way to fulfill all righteousness." Then he consented. And when Jesus had been baptized, just as he came up out of the water, suddenly the heavens were opened to him, and he saw the Spirit of God descending like a dove and alighting on him. And a voice from heaven said, "This is my beloved Son, with whom I am well pleased." One of my favorite all-time movies is the Coen brothers classic, "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?" And one of the most hilarious scenes, one of my favorite scenes, is when Delmer gets baptized in the river. And afterwards, as he's riding down the road in the car, he is ecstatic. And he is rejoicing. "I've been redeemed," he says. "The preacher said so. All my sins and wrongdoings have been wiped away, including robbing that Piggly Wiggly." To which one of his cohorts replies, "Delmer, I thought you said you was innocent of those charges." "Well, I lied," he said, "but I've been forgiven of that too." To be sure, baptism entails forgiveness, and for that matter, redemption. But redemption from what? Today, you are invited to reimagine the waters of holy baptism and to rethink just what it is that God is doing in this sacramental act. What exactly does it mean for us to be born by water and the Spirit? A couple of weeks ago, all of us, the entire nation, in dare I say the world, was horrified by the incident that occurred on the field during Monday Night Football, when Damar Hamlin, a player for the Buffalo Bills, collapsed and nearly died on the field during the game from cardiac arrest. His heart stopped right after a play was over in the middle of the game. But from my perspective, just as horrific as the fact of Mr. Hamlin almost losing his life was that it took over an hour for the NFL to finally decide to postpone the game. Now, that boggles my mind, the fact that there was even a discussion to continue the game. Well, the fact that that happened just underscores for me, for us, the moral bankruptcy of the show must go on mindset, in which those of us raised in Western society are immersed in from birth. This is the toxic culture into which we are baptized, submerged into the murky waters of dis-ease and anxiety. The rat race ethos, if you will, where our worth as human beings is measured by how much we can produce, how much we can acquire, how much we can consume. Where quality of life is secondary to quantity of profit. Where the common good takes a back seat to the bottom line. But baptism and the grace that is available in and through it combats that mindset, because in and through baptism we are reborn, born again, if you will, from that mindset. Immersed into a new way of being, redeemed from our society's culture of death, where many of our residents don't have access to clean water, to transition into God's culture of flourishing life. Yes. We emerge from the stagnant waters of the world's shady rat race into God's glorious new alternative reality. And that's a reality where all of us are measured by only one criteria and one criteria alone. The fact that we are God's beloved children. And God is pleased with us simply because we are. Not because of what we do or what we have, only because we exist. To be sure, you, me, we aren't who they say we are. whether you're an NFL player expected to place the franchise's profit margin above your own well-being, or you're a Central Appalachian coal miner dying to make a living by digging your own grave 3 miles underground, we aren't disposable like they say we are. We don't have to continue just trying to keep our heads above water. No, through baptism, God says we aren't expendable. Through baptism, God says we aren't discardable. Through baptism, God says nothing is more important than our health and well-being and the common good of all. Indeed, baptism is a showstopper. Through baptism, God cancels the evil, injustice, and oppression of the rat race. And through baptism, all of us are invited to God's alternative culture. A life in God which says our self-worth isn't tied to how much we work, how much we earn, how much we spend, or how much we accumulate, but only tied to the fact that we are God's beloved, in whom God is well pleased. Period. Many faith traditions observe a reaffirmation and remembrance of the baptismal covenant on Baptism of the Lord Sunday. So today, wherever you're joining me from, I invite you. You are invited by God to accept the power that God has given you to resist evil, injustice, and oppression of the exploitative, death-dealing structures and systems of our society that work in conjunction together to diminish life. And you are invited to remember your baptism and to rejoice in it. Because through the grace of the waters of baptism, you are no longer enslaved to those structures and systems that deal death. But rather, you have been emancipated to depart from them, to undergo an exodus, liberated to participate in the abundant life of God, reborn to flourish as God's beloved child. Indeed, my friends, today and every day, remember your baptism and rejoice. Rejoice. In, by, and through it, all of us are free. Amen and amen. You're invited now to enjoy a piece of music that my hope is will allow for you to reflect upon today's message, that it will enhance the message for you and bring you closer to God and closer to the life the abundant, flourishing life that God has called all of God's beloved children to live. Amen. I'll see you soon, folks. Goodbye and God bless.
Hi, my name is Frank Hammer, he, him.
Hi, my name is Islei Hammer, she, her, and today we're going to play for you Watchman, Tell Us of the Night by Joseph Perry with an arrangement by Mark Hayes.